Hey, listen up. Did you know that one wrong bowl of chili could send your blood sugar soaring faster than a rocket on the 4th of July? We're talking about a comfort food classic that's secretly a health saboteur for millions, packed with hidden carbs and sugars that hit your system like a freight train. But what if I told you I've got a recipe, a low-carb, flavor-packed chili that not only dodges that disaster, but might just help you fight diabetes one spoonful at a time? Stick with me, because I'm about to flip everything you thought you knew about this dish upside down. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, another bland health food gimmick, let me hit you with this. Have you ever tasted a chili so rich, so spicy, that it warms your soul, yet sneaks in a secret weapon against blood sugar spikes? That's where we're headed. Picture this: a pot simmering on the stove, the aroma of garlic and cayenne teasing your senses. But hidden in that mix is something most folks would never guess belongs in chili. It's not just about cutting carbs. It's about stacking the deck with ingredients that work overtime for your health. I've seen patients transform their numbers just by rethinking meals like this. Folks who thought they'd never enjoy comfort food again. Let me take you behind the curtain of why this recipe isn't just tasty, it's a game changer. We'll dive into every detail, from the science of why standard chili can wreck your system, to the exact steps to make a version that fights back. Ready to cook up a revolution in your kitchen? Let's break this down, starting with the cold, hard truth about why most chili recipes are a blood sugar nightmare. Traditional chili often leans on a heavy base of beans, kidney, pinto, you name it. Sometimes upwards of 2 or 3 cups per batch. That's a carb bomb, easily pushing 60 to 80 grams per serving, which for someone managing diabetes or pre-diabetes is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Add in sugary tomato sauces or even hidden sweeteners in canned goods, and you've got a dish that can spike your glucose to dangerous levels within an hour. I've had patients come to me frustrated, saying their numbers jumped from 120 to 180 after a healthy, homemade chili night. The kicker? They didn't even realize the culprits. Then there's the beef. Often fatty, grain-fed cuts that, while not spiking sugar directly, come with long-term risks. Studies, like those published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, suggest excessive red meat intake can alter gut flora in ways linked to higher heart disease and colon cancer risks, up to a 20% increased risk with daily consumption. Health isn't just about one number. It's the whole picture. That's why we're switching gears with a low-carb, spicy chicken chili that rewrites the rules. Here's the foundation. We're using about a pound of ground chicken and 2 spicy chicken sausages, stripped from their casings, instead of beef. Why chicken? It's leaner, lower in saturated fats, and doesn't carry the same gut flora concerns. Though I'm not against grass-fed beef in moderation, say 2 to 3 times a week. Then we layer in 1 cup of white beans, controlled for carbs, still giving that hearty texture, and 1 cup of diced tomatoes, opting for low sodium to avoid sneaky salt traps. A diced red bell pepper and a yellow onion bring color and antioxidants, crucial for mopping up free radicals. that meat-heavy meals can leave behind. 3 cups of chicken broth form the base, while 4 cloves of garlic, 2 if you're shy on flavor, pack a punch for both taste and blood pressure benefits. Spices like a tablespoon of chili powder, half a tablespoon of cayenne, and a tablespoon of oregano. Turn up the heat without the sugar. And for cooking, only first cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil, about 2 tablespoons or as needed, because standard oils under heat can form harmful compounds called carcinogens. I've watched folks in clinic settings cut their post-meal glucose spikes by 30% just by swapping out heavy carbs and poor quality fats in recipes like this. One patient, after years of struggling with 200+ readings, got down to a steady 130 by prioritizing meals built on these principles. We're not guessing here. We're building on what works. But hold on, here's a twist that might make you raise an eyebrow. What if the real hero of this chili isn't the meat or the spices, but a green you might not even want on your plate? I'm talking about kale. A single bunch, chopped fine, tossed into this pot. Now I know what you're thinking. Kale in chili? That's a hard pass. But hear me out. This isn't just a trendy add-in. It's a powerhouse. Kale's loaded with fiber, vitamins A, C, and K, plus potassium and magnesium, nutrients that directly support blood pressure regulation and diabetes prevention. Research from the Journal of Nutrition shows diets high in leafy greens can lower type 2 diabetes risk by up to 14%. For those already managing the condition, it slows glucose absorption, keeping spikes in check. And beyond that, its antioxidants combat inflammation, a silent driver of chronic disease. I've seen it firsthand. Someone with borderline hypertension dropped their readings by 10 points after upping greens in their diet over a month. In this recipe, kale soaks up the broth, thickens the chili, and blends into the background. You won't even taste it. I promise. It's a stealth move for health, especially since most of us aren't getting nearly enough of these nutrients. Still skeptical? Let's cook it and see. Now, let's get to the heart of this, making the chili itself, step by step, with every detail to ensure it's not just healthy, but a flavor explosion that'll have you scraping the pot. Grab a heavy-bottomed pan, set it on medium heat over a gas stove or whatever you've got, and drizzle in that quality olive oil. Just enough to coat the bottom, about a tablespoon to start. Toss in your pound of ground chicken and those 2 spicy chicken sausages, blending them as they sizzle. You're looking for a nice brown, about halfway cooked, which takes 5 to 7 minutes. Why no beef? Beyond the risks I mentioned, chicken's lower fat content means less sticking, though you might need an extra splash of oil, another half tablespoon, if it looks dry. Next, throw in that diced red bell pepper and yellow onion, stirring for another 3 to 4 minutes until they soften. These aren't just for taste. They're antioxidants, like quercetin in onions, counteract oxidative stress from meat processing in your body. Studies suggest up to a 25% reduction in harmful markers when paired with protein. Add the garlic cloves now, minced fine, letting their aroma bloom for a minute. If it sticks, don't hesitate. More oil, just a teaspoon. Dump in your spices, chili powder, cayenne, oregano, and a pinch of salt. Mindful if you're watching sodium. Stir in the diced tomatoes, 15-ounce can if you're not chopping fresh, and 2 tablespoons of tomato paste for depth. Adjust to taste. Pour in the 3 cups of chicken broth. It'll look watery, but don't worry. Here's where the kale comes in. Add that bunch, watching it wilt down as it absorbs liquid, transforming this into a hearty chili over 20 to 30 minutes of simmering with a lid on. Last, toss in the white beans, canned, low sodium, rinsed if you're rushed, for a final 5 minutes to warm through. You can tweak thickness, less broth, or more kale if you want it denser. This isn't just cooking. It's crafting a shield for your health. I've watched families, once reliant on takeout, spiking their sugar to 250, remake their weeknights with meals like this, seeing readings stabilize below 150. Leftovers? Even better the next day. Perfect for fall chills or winter nights. This is comfort food reborn. Low carb at under 20 grams per serving. No spikes, just satisfaction. All right, let's lighten the mood with a little kitchen chaos that'll stick with you. Picture this: the chili's done, steaming hot, ladled into bowls. You top it with a dollop of sour cream or high-fat yogurt if you're keeping it extra clean, and a generous sprinkle of shredded cheese. Low carb, of course. It's a moment of pure joy. That first spoonful hovering, cheese stretching like a gooey bridge. But then, oops, a string of molten cheese lands on your chin, and you laugh, fumbling to wipe it off before it burns. Speaking of burns, here's a real tip wrapped in that giggle. Don't dive in too fast. That heat, straight from the pot, it's not just a quick sting, it's a risk. I've read cases and studies like those in cancer epidemiology showing repeated exposure to scalding foods can damage oral cells, raising cancer risks over years, especially when repair mechanisms misfire. It's rare, sure, but why gamble? Let it cool just a tad. Blow on that spoon. Savor the anticipation. I remember a buddy rushing a bite of pizza once, blistering his tongue so bad he couldn't taste for days. We laughed then, but it's a reminder. Small choices stack up. So, as you dig into this chili, maybe with a side of cornbread if you're cheating a bit, take that extra sec. Taste the spice, the tomato tang just right, not too overpowering. The salt hitting that sweet spot without overdoing it. It's a bowl that hugs you back. And trust me, waiting a minute makes every bite sweeter. Share this with someone who always burns their mouth. I bet you've got a story like mine to tell. So here's the bottom line. This low-carb, spicy chicken chili isn't just a recipe. It's a weapon against blood sugar chaos, a shield for your long-term health, and a damn good meal you'll crave again and again. With ingredients like kale sneaking in nutrients, chicken cutting risks over beef, and every carb counted to keep spikes at bay, you're not just eating, you're taking control. If you want more tricks like this to keep your health on point, hit that like button and subscribe. Your support is my fuel to keep sharing. And hey, drop a comment with how you spice up your chili. What's your secret ingredient? I'm dying to hear.